You guys can go ahead and take your child's pose. Gonna take your knees out nice and wide, bring your big toes together behind you. We're just gonna take our first few minutes together, tuning into our breaths. So you're gonna work on bringing those inhales all the way down into your belly. So your belly is gonna round with that inhale and fall between your knees towards your mat. And then on your exhale, you're gonna bring your belly button towards your spine, come all the way to the bottom of that breath. We're going to take just a couple more breaths here. I want you to continue to focus on your breath, but you're going to ground your forehead to your mat and lift your nose, and then begin drawing circles with it. So you're just massaging the center of your forehead against the floor. When you're ready, you can take your time lifting your forehead, pressing up into a tabletop position. You're going to bring your knees a little bit closer together. So we're going to take a couple rounds of cat and cow. On your exhale, you're going to round your back, tuck your chin and pelvis under. On your inhale, drop your belly button down, roll your shoulders back, take your chin all the way up. And then you're just going to work through a couple rounds at your own pace. Really exaggerate each of those motions. After you've worked through a couple rounds of that cat-cow, you can just curl your toes under. We're going to be back in our downward dog. And you can spend your first few moments there just walking it out, really releasing the backs of both of your legs. So we're going to be bringing our breath together. I'd like you to bring your big toes to touch. You're going to take a big breath in, rise up onto all 10 toes. So just continue to breathe here. You're still dropping the crown of your head toward your mat. The ears should be up between your biceps. Big stretch along the bottoms of both of your feet. Take another big breath in. And exhale your heels to your mat. We're going to do that 2 more times. Big breath in, rise up. Exhale your heels down. 1 more time, big breath in, rise up. And exhale your heels to your mat. When you're ready, you're going to begin to take tiny steps toward the front of your mat. You're slowly dropping your heels down as you go. You're going to step your left foot up behind your left wrist, right foot up behind your right wrist. And we're just coming into our ragdoll pose, so allowing your body to fold in half, the crown of your head to drop toward your mat. And you can do whatever you'd like with your arms. The traditional option would be to just grab opposite elbows, sort of create a frame around your head using your arms. And feel free to do whatever feels good for you today. So you can go ahead and release your hands down to the mat if they're not there yet. Begin to heel toe your feet together. And then nice and slow, you're going to take your time rounding up. Just take it one vertebrae at a time, scooping all the way into a standing position before bringing your hands overhead. And we're coming into a slight back bend here. So you're going to push your hips toward the front of the mat, gaze up toward your fingertips, just lean back gently. And back to standing tall. You're going to take your left wrist in your right hand. We're leaning for the right side of the room, big side body stretch. And then before you come back to center, I want you to pull that left shoulder back just a little bit more. Intensify that side body stretch. Go ahead and come back to center. Switch your grip to the other wrist and lean to the left. And before you come back to center, pull that right shoulder back. Back to center. Allow your hands to separate. We're coming into one more back bend. Push the hips forward, gaze up, lean back. Maybe try to take this one just a little bit further than you did the first. And back to standing tall. On your exhale, sweep all the way into your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. We're just flattening the back like a tabletop. On your exhale, plant both hands, step your feet back. So you're finding your plank position. And then from your plank, I want you to shift forward slightly. So you're bringing the shoulders slightly in front of the wrists. Elbows are going to shoot straight back. I want you to lower down nice and slow. And all the way to your belly, relax the tops of your feet. You're going to press up into a back bend of your choice. So you can keep it small. You could come all the way up into your up dog or seal pose. Whichever one you've chosen, I want you to pause right there, and then we're going to take our gaze over the right shoulder. So back toward the right pinky toe. This is probably a little bit more difficult if you're in a baby cobra because you're really having to hold that pose. And back to center and over the left. Come back to center. Release yourself all the way down onto your belly. Curl your toes under, push up, and we'll meet back in downward dog. So we're going to take a couple more sunnies to warm up our muscles a little bit. From your downward dog, when you're ready, hop, step, or jump forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale to heart center. Inhale, back to mountain. Exhale, sweep down. Inhale, halfway lift. On your exhale, plant both hands, step your feet back, find your plank position. You're going to shift forward. We're going to lower down and stop halfway. Push back up. Lower down. Push back up. One more time, lower down, stop halfway. Come all the way through, back bend of your choice, and we'll meet back in downward dog. From your downward dog, when you're ready, hop, step, or jump forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale to heart center. Inhale, back to mountain. Exhale, sweep down. Inhale, halfway lift. On your exhale, plant both hands, step your feet back, find your plank. Elbows are going to shoot straight back, lower down halfway. Push up. Halfway. Push up. Last one, pause halfway. Come all the way through. Back bend of your choice will meet back in downward dog. From your downward dog, when you're ready, hop, step, or jump forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale to heart center. Inhale back to mountain. Exhale, sweep down. Inhale, halfway lift. On your exhale, plant both hands, step your feet back, find your plank. Shift forward, elbows shoot straight back, lower down halfway. Push up. Halfway. Push up. Last one, halfway, pause. Come all the way through. Back bend of your choice, we'll meet back in downward dog. We're going to take just one more sine before we get into our series. From your downward dog, when you're ready, hop, step, or jump forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale to heart center. Inhale, back to mountain. Exhale, sweep down. Inhale, halfway lift. On your exhale, plant both hands, step your feet back, find your plank. Shift forward, lower down halfway. Push up. Halfway, elbows shoot straight back, push up. Last one, halfway. Come all the way through. Back bend of your choice. And we'll meet back in downward dog. So from your downward dog, when you're ready, you're just going to kick that right foot back. I want you to bend at the knee and roll open. So just allow your hips to fall open. You're stacking that right hip on top of the left, maybe rolling out that right ankle a little bit. And take your right foot back to the sky. And then you're going to step it up in between your hands, rise up, tall crescent. So all 10 toes facing the front of the mat. You've got that left heel lifted up behind you. And you're just straightening out the left leg as you drop into that front knee. You take both hands overhead, try to keep your shoulders down and back. And sink a little bit deeper. So ideally here, you're bringing the right knee directly over the right ankle. And a little bit deeper. We're going to do this in one movement. You're going to be dropping your hands into a T and pivoting that left heel down. So opening up, find your warrior two. So in your warrior two, you're focusing a little bit more on the hip opener. So we're drawing that right knee outward over the right pinky toe, still keeping it directly over the ankle or as close to the ankle as we can. And then you're pressing through the outside of that left foot. So really driving it to the back of the mat. And a little deeper. Go ahead and straighten out that front leg. We're moving into our triangle pose. You're going to push this left hip back as you lean forward with the right hand. When you can't lean any further, just bring that right hand down to the mat, a block, your shin, wherever you can reach, and you're opening up floor to ceiling. So we're just pressing the hips back. You should feel that stretch along the inside and the back of your right leg. We're going to be coming into a reverse triangle, so you might need to take a slight bend in both of your knees. You'll bring your left hand down, take your right hand up. So just a little bit of a twist here. We're slowly reversing. You're bringing that right hand back down, straighten out both of your legs, left hand back to the sky, open up. Press the hips back. And then without pushing off with that right hand, I want you to rise up to tall. And then turn all 10 of your toes over to the left side of your mat. So you're going to be, well, some of you will be facing me and you'll be able to see. But you can always turn to the other side if you need to. So you're going to be turning your toes in slightly, heels out slightly, just to prevent your feet from sliding out from under you. And we're going to work the core a little bit here. So you're going to plant your hands on your hips, and we're going to hinge forward 90 degrees. So keeping a nice long spine here, like you have a string at the top of your head and it's pulling you toward the wall. Or in my case, toward my camera. And then keep the shoulders down and back. So we're not allowing our back to round here. Keep a proud chest. We're going to intensify this a little bit. You're going to take your hands off of your hips and out overhead. So we're just making the upper body weight just a little bit more. You're going to start to feel the burn on the backs of your legs. We're going to intensify it just a little bit more yet. So most of your weight is shifted backward into your heels right now without toppling over. I want you to shift some of it forward into your toes. Stay with it. One more big breath. And then exhale all the way into your forward fold. So whatever that is for you, you can plant your hands on a chair, on a block. You can bring them all the way to the floor. You can drop down onto the crown of your head or to your forearms if you have that flexibility, but we're just going to be hanging out in this standing straddle. So sort of take a moment to make it your own. So take just a couple more breaths here. If you drop down onto your forehead or onto your forearms, you're going to be coming back up to tall arms, and then I want you to press your left hand into the mat. You're going to take your right hand up. So we're just coming into a twist here. And you can try to allow your gaze to follow that right hand as much as you can. Then bring your right hand back down. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. Press that right hand into the mat, left hand up, gaze follows. And then bring your left hand back down. And then I want you to begin to heel toe your feet a little bit closer together. And the toes are going to turn out this time. So we're going to be coming into a goddess pose. We're going to make our legs work a little bit. So toes turn out, heels in, and then I want you to come into a bend in your knees and bring your hands up off of the floor. So you can just bring them together, heart center. You've got that 90-degree bend in your knees. So you're dropping your hips down right between the knees. We're going to make our legs work a little bit. Let's go ahead and lift the right heel. Set it down. Lift the left. Set it down. Back to the right. Set it down. Left. Woo. Set it down. We're going to try to do both. If you have weak ankles, don't do this. Go ahead and lift both heels. Hold it. Release them down. Come to straight legs. Shake it out a little bit. We're going to reverse coming back into our warrior two. So you're going to just be turning your right toes to face the front of the mat. You've got a pigeon-toed left foot, and then you're going to sink all the way into that right knee. So you give your legs a little bit of a break. Hands back out into that T. Sink a little bit deeper. You're going to turn your front hand palm face up, reverse your warrior. So just walking that left hand down the back of your left leg, or you can tuck it behind your hip for a half bind. You're going to take your gaze up toward the right hand, still keeping that same deep bend in the right knee. We're coming back through center all the way into an extended side angle. So you're going to open up floor to ceiling, just releasing the right hand down to the inside of the right foot, opening up floor to ceiling. I'm going to sink a little bit deeper, press the hips through. Bring the left hand down to join the right, pop the left heel up. So now you just found your low lunge. And then I want you to kick the right foot back. You're going to keep it lifted. Shift forward, find your three-limbed plank. You're just letting that right foot hover. Lower down halfway. Push up. Halfway. Push up. Last one, halfway. Come all the way through. Back bend of your choice. Moving back in downward dog. Ooh, now I have to try to remember what I did on side A. Don't judge me, that was a long one. So if I miss anything, Don't tell me because it'll bother me all day. So from your downward dog, when you're ready, go ahead and kick the left foot back. Bend at the knee, roll open. Just roll out that left ankle a little bit. Take your left foot back to the sky. Step it through, rise up, tall crescent. So all 10 toes facing the front of the mat. Shoulders down and back, and we're just sinking into that left knee. Sink a little deeper. Still driving that right heel back. You should have a straight or fairly straight right leg. Sink a little deeper. We're going to be moving into our warrior two, so pivot that right heel down, open up, and we're drawing the left knee outward over the left pinky toe. Allow that hip to open. Sink a little deeper. And come just a little bit deeper. And then straighten out that front leg. We're coming all the way forward with that left hand. Push the right hip back. Open up into your triangle pose. So big stretch along the back and the inside of that left leg. So we're coming into our reverse triangle. Take a slight bend in both of your knees. Bring the right hand down, left hand up. So you're in a big twist here. And then we're reversing back to where we were. Bring the left hand back down. Straighten out both of the legs. Right hand back up, back into your triangle pose. You're still pressing the hips back. And then without pushing off with that left hand, you're going to rise up. Turn all 10 of your toes over to the right side of the mat. We're starting in that standing straddle. So toes are going to turn in slightly, heels out slightly. You can plant your hands on your hips. We're hinging forward 90 degrees. So pull that belly button in, keep the shoulder blades down and back. We're not allowing our back to round here. You're working to hold up your upper body. Keep that straight spine. Take your hands out overhead. Shifting some of the weight forward into the tiptoes. Stay with it. And then go ahead and release your hands all the way down. Come back to your standing straddle. You might take this one just a little bit deeper than you did the first, or try something new if you'd like. Go ahead and take one more big breath here. And then you're going to come back up to tall arms if you're not there already. We're going to walk both of our hands over to the right foot. So you're just reaching for that right foot with both hands and dropping your nose or your forehead toward the right knee. So it's okay if you can't even come close. That's not what I'm worried about. We're just stretching it out a little bit. And release the right foot. Walk your hands through center. We're doing the same thing over to the left. Go ahead and bring your hands back to center. Before we leave this pose, we're going to be walking our hands out in front of us slightly, and then you're going to use them to push backward into your hips. So sort of like a straddle downward dog. Big stretch along the backs of both of your legs. And your ears should be right between the biceps. You're just pressing through the palms of your hands. And take your time walking your hands back under your body and then begin to heel toe your feet together. This time we're coming a little bit closer than we did for our goddess pose. Heels are still going to turn in, so toes will be out slightly, and we're coming into our Hindu squat. So I know this isn't going to be for everyone, but you're going to allow your hips to drop down in between your heels and then turn to face you guys so you can see me. So just bringing the hips down in between the heels. Some people aren't going to be able to do this, and that's completely fine. So just choose a hip opening option that works for you. If you liked that goddess pose, or even if you didn't like it, if you were able to do it, you can go ahead and come back to goddess instead. But we're going to try to sit nice and tall here. Maybe you use your elbows to very gently push your knees out to the sides. We're going to be here for just a couple more breaths. So you stay with it. I'm going to turn back around. And then wherever you ended, I just want you to release your hands down to the floor, pop your hips to the sky, maybe just allow them to sway from side to side a little bit. Release that tension we just created. And then you can take your time rising up. And we're just reversing to where we were or where we started. We're coming into our warrior two, so take a moment getting there. Left toes will point toward the front of the mat. Right toes are going to be pigeon-toed. You're just driving the outside of that right foot to the back of the mat. Drop your hands back out into that T. And then we're allowing the left knee to come out over the left pinky toe. Allow the hip to open. Come a little bit deeper. You're going to turn your front hand palm face up. Reverse your warrior. You're going to come through center, so just cartwheeling your arms and into an extended side angle. So releasing that left hand down, open up floor to ceiling. You're going to bring your right hand down, pop your right heel up. So finding your low lunge position. And then when you're ready, you're kicking the left foot back, but I want you to keep it lifted. So just come into a 3-limbed downward dog. Keep it lifted, shift forward, a 3-limbed plank. Lower down halfway. Push up. Halfway. Push up. Elbows are shooting straight back. Last time, halfway. Come all the way through. Back bend of your choice. We'll meet back in downward dog. So from your downward dog, when you're ready, hop, step, or jump forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale to heart center. Inhale, back to mountain. Exhale, sweep down. Inhale, halfway lift. On your exhale, plant both hands, step your feet back, find your plank. Shift forward, lower down halfway. Push up. Halfway. Push up. Last one, halfway, hold it. Come all the way through. Back bend of your choice, we'll meet back in downward dog. So we're going to take a couple more sun A's together to close the series. Warm our muscles up just a little bit more, and then I'll move you down to the mat and give you some deeper stretches. So stay with me. From your downward dog, when you're ready, hop, step, or jump forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale to heart center. Inhale, back to mountain. Exhale, sweep down. Inhale, halfway lift. On your exhale, plant both hands, step your feet back, find your plank. Shift forward, lower down halfway. Push up. Halfway. Push up. Last one, halfway. All the way through. Back bend of your choice. We'll meet back in downward dog. We're going to take just one more sun A. From your downward dog, when you're ready, hop, step, or jump forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale to heart center. Inhale, back to mountain. Exhale, sweep down. Inhale, halfway lift. On your exhale, plant both hands, step your feet back. Coming into your plank. Shift forward. Lower down halfway. Push up. Halfway. Push up. Last one, halfway, hold it. Come all the way through. Back bend of your choice. And meet back in downward dog. So from your downward dog, when you're ready, I just want you to take your gaze toward your fingertips and then shoot your legs through, come down onto your butt. And we're just going to allow ourselves to lay all the way back. So you're going to move right into a reclined position. And we're going to be taking our pigeon pose on our backs today. So you can bring the soles of your feet up to your mat, and then you're going to be crossing the right ankle over the left knee. So you're creating that sort of figure four with your legs. You're going to flex the right foot. So pull the toes toward your knee, and then I want you to bring the left foot up off of the floor, and you're going to bind up your hands behind the left knee. So you can always use a strap here if you can't quite reach behind that left knee. If you can and you want to amplify, you might reach for the left shin rather than behind the knee. I want you to just choose an option of this that works best for you. If you can't reach the knee at all, that's okay. So continue to flex the right foot, pulling all those muscles tight. You should be able to feel the stretch in your right hip, your glute, maybe up through your lower back if you have a very tight lower back, or maybe you sit at a desk all day, you'll probably feel it then. So I'm going to take just a couple more breaths here. Maybe pull that left knee a little bit tighter. Intensify the stretch for the last couple seconds here. And then very gently just release your left foot back to the mat. And you're going to cross that right leg all the way over this time. So bringing the right leg all the way over like you're crossing your legs in a chair. Drop your hands out into a T, and then your legs are going to fall over toward the left side of the mat. You're going to take your gaze over the right fingertips. So try to keep that right shoulder glued down. We're really focusing on making this twist all the way from the hips up through the thoracic spine. One more big breath. And then you're going to bring your legs and your gaze back to center. You can uncross your legs. You're going to extend your left leg out. We're not quite done with the right side. So you're going to bring your right knee into your chest. Give it a squeeze. And then we're going to come into a half happy baby. So again, not everybody's going to be able to do this, but I just want you to try to make it your own. We're just focusing on the hip opener of that right side. So you're going to be bringing your right knee up like you're tucking it under your arm, and then find somewhere on your foot, your ankle behind your knee to bind up. And you're just going to drop that right knee out nice and wide. So almost like you're tucking it under your arm and driving it down toward the floor. As long as you can feel that right hip opening, that's all I care about. So it's okay if your pose doesn't look the same as mine. And take just one more big breath. And then I want you to bring that right knee back to your chest. Give it another squeeze. And we're releasing the right foot back to the mat. You can bring your left foot up to join it. We're going to do the exact same series on the other side. So you've got the soles of your feet on the floor, and then you're going to be crossing the left ankle over the right knee, flexing that left foot, so pulling the toes toward the knee. And lift the right foot from your mat, bind up behind the right knee or the shin, wherever you can reach. And continue to flex that left foot, so pulling all those muscles tight. Should be able to feel it now in your left hip, the back of your left leg, your left glute up through your lower back. You pull that right knee just a little bit tighter, intensify that stretch for just a couple of seconds. And then you can release your right foot back down to the mat. You're going to cross that left leg all the way over. Drop your hands out into a T. This time your legs are going to fall to the right side of the mat. You'll take your gaze over the left fingertips. So just coming as deep as you're comfortable into that twist. Take one more big breath. And then you're going to bring your knees and your gaze back to center. You can uncross your legs. You're going to take your right leg out long. Bring your left knee into the chest. Give it a squeeze. And then we're coming into that half happy baby on side B. So you're going to bind up with that left foot or ankle, anywhere along the left leg that you can reach, and then just drive that left knee down to the floor underneath the left armpit. So you go ahead and bring the left knee back to the chest, give it a squeeze, and then I want you to bring the right one up to join it. So you're just kind of tucking yourself into a little ball. We're going to be doing the happy baby, both sides at the same time now. So when you're ready, you're going to release your knees out wide, like you're going to tuck them under your arms, and then find somewhere to bind up on your feet or your ankles, maybe behind your knees. And drop those knees out wide. And if it feels good for your lower back, you can sort of rock from side to side, or you can stay right at the center of the mat. Some people have the ability to straighten their legs in this pose. If you're one of them, you can go ahead and do that as well. We're here for just another breath. And then nice and slow, you're going to bring the knees all the way back to the chest. Give them a squeeze. And release the soles of your feet down to your mat. And you're just going to set your feet about hip width. They're a little bit wider apart. And we're just going to allow the knees to fall from side to side. So creating that 90-degree bend in the knee. Dropping them over to the right, maybe pausing there briefly before bringing them over to the left. So you can just work through a couple of these, and then whenever you're ready, I want you to come flat to your back or any other pose that you can relax and close your eyes. We're going to be taking our last few minutes together, just tuning into our breath. So you're working on bringing those inhales all the way down into your belly, and your belly is going to round with that breath, and then fall towards your spine with the exhale. And just try to rest the remainder of your body. So everything else is going to be still except for the movement of that breath down into your belly. Go ahead and take one more big breath here. And begin to wiggle your fingers and toes. And then when you're ready, I want you to take your legs out long. You're pointing your toes toward the front of the mat. You're going to reach overhead. Give yourself one last big full body stretch. And take your time, rolling off to your side before pushing up into a seated position. Just allow your eyes to close, your hands to come together at heart center. We're going to be closing our practice with 3 big breaths together. Let's go ahead and take a big breath in. Let it out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in, sweep your thumbs to your third eye. Breathe out as you bow forward. Namaste. Thanks so much for joining me, guys. Let me unmute you here.